welcome mpenzi mtazamaji right here for Nuru ya Asubuhi. Karibu tuweze kusemezana. Today is Family and Health Thursday and we are glad that you've joined us. Thank you for making time for us this beautiful chilly Thursday morning, the 17th day of August 2023. Today tulikuwa tumesema we are going to make plans to make sure at least we bring in health. We've been dealing sana on matters family sana. And so we are glad today we have the one and only Dr. Musiaka in studio with us today. He is the CEO of the Clear Scan Medical Solutions in Nakuru, where it deals entirely on matters of scans and also general checkup if you want to be checked on. So karibu sana. Today we are talking about arthritis. I know so many people are feeling maybe in their family akukosi mtu mmoja wawili, you know, they have arthritis. Others, they don't know how to take care of it, what should be done, how should you stay with such a person, all of that. That is what we'll be discussing today. Feel free to join the conversation via our SMS line that's on the screen, and also we are coming to you live on our social media platforms, also on Facebook and YouTube. To go live as you check right now, to go live. So share with as many people as possible. Let's get into the interview. Tuweze kusemezana. Good morning.
Good morning, Emily.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
You know, the excitement I have, like, karibu sana.
It's been a minute.
It's been a long one, actually.
So, I'm also excited to be back, at least to do what we know how to do best.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Save lives.
Yes.
And make sure people are living at their best.
Yes.
And so today we want to talk about arthritis, and I started hearing about it at I think before I knew what it was. Oh, nitasikia mama fulani akona arthritis, baba nani, sijui, all that. And so that is what we want to understand more today, getting to have the whole picture. So arthritis on the person, ama wakati nilikuwa nasikia arthritis, nilikuwa nafaa ikuje nini kwa mind? What is it?
Yeah, it's a good topic that you decided we should talk about today.
Yes.
The reason being that it's a fairly common problem affecting so many people.
Yes.
And that's why you're saying you heard about it.
Yeah.
Ulisikia kutoka kitambo.
Yes.
Especially if you have you're around people who are aged. Yeah.
Yes, kabisa.
Yeah. If you have people who are aged, your grandparents, maybe your parents are aged, you're likely to have had or you're likely to have interacted with somebody who has arthritis.
Yes.
So now the question comes, what is this arthritis that you've been hearing umekuwa ukisikia kwa wakati mwingi? So basically arthritis is a condition ama ni ugonjwa ambao una affect the joints.
The joints.
Yes.
Okay.
And the reason why it is common is because that it affects so many people. It affects a good number of people in the community, and of course the effect on the joints comes with pain.
Oh, as it affects the joints also,
yes.
pain is
it affects the joint, and one of the main things that happens is now the pain. One of the key presentation ama ile kitu watu wengi watakuwa nayo ni uchungu. And you see now generally most people are sick, but if it's not painful, you are not likely to hear about it. Right?
Yes.
And that's why most people will not even seek attention. They will not even talk about it because they have it, but it's not painful.
Okay.
But because now arthritis usually presents much with pain, every other person is likely to talk about it. That's why you're likely to have heard about arthritis.
Okay.
Yeah. So not only the pain that present, or not, it does not only present with pain, but there are other ways of presentation. Okay. But backwards, let's go back kidogo and try to understand what is this arthritis and how does it come about before even say how it presents, because now if I explain what it is, then it'd be easier kuelewa why now the pain and why now the other symptoms. So basically mwili yetu it's made up of bones.
Yes.
Bones are very stiff,
yes,
of course, but we have the joints. These joints they keep moving. Yeah? Every time you are writing, you are hitting, you are moving, you are kwa shamba, unalima, joints zinasonga tu. The questions that come to your mind is, kwa nini hizi joints hazinanga shida? right?
Yeah.
It is because venye Mungu aliziumba.
Okay.
God did a very wonderful job in the joints. Yeah,
Yes.
you find that kwa hizi joints it's mfupa moja then nyingine, they come into contact.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But ni bone ngumu, but have you ever asked yourself kwa nini hii mfupa wakati inasonga hakuna kitu unasikia?
Okay.
There's a very good reason.
Okay.
Kwa hizi joints, kwa hizi mifupa kwenye zinaguzana, ikuwe ni kwa wrist, ikuwe ni kwa magoti, ikuwe ni kwa hips, kule kwa vidole, hizi zote ni mifupa na ziko na joints kila mahali, unaona?
Okay.
So you ask yourself why. So wherever mifupa zinakutana, there's usually something called a cartilage.
Okay.
Huwa iliumbwa in a way that there is something that covers that surface, ama inafunika ile mahali ambazo mifupa zinaguzana.
The hard part.
The hard part.
Okay.
Now there's a soft part on top of that hard part, which is very smooth and very slippery. Yeah? Such that saa ile unatembea unakunja mkono, unakunjua, hautaisikia ikisonga, hautasikia uchungu, hautasikia anything. Right? Then on top of that, this joint, hizi mifupa na hii ingine, kuna covering. Kuna what we usually call the capsule. Mostly we refer to them as synovial joints, which are very common. They are the most joints in the body, and movement mingi inafanyika kwa hizo the synovial joints. So one thing, the bones are very smooth. That the points at which the bones are meet. Okay. Number two, hapo kwa hiyo joints kuna space. Then this space is usually filled with some fluid, katumaji hivi. Ile watu wanaitanga grease. Wanasemanga watu wakiweka grease ilisha. Yeah, it's true.
Yes.
There is some fluid in that joint. Then there is a capsule. Kuna kitu inafunika kama covering ya ku contain that fluid in there, and to support hii mifupa is kwina. Of course, there are so many other structures that help in supporting the bones. Ndio zibaki pamoja, moja is slide, ingine iende mbele, iende nyuma, ndio usaili unasonga inabaki kwa the same position. Now, what happens in arthritis? Now, there are several types of arthritis, of course, and there are so many varieties, but there are two most common types of arthritis. Okay. One is what we call osteoarthritis, and the other one is rheumatoid arthritis. Okay. Now, there are other types of arthritis, what you call reactive arthritis, septic arthritis, other arthritis which are a result of other conditions ambazo zinaweza kuwa kwa mwili. For example, psoriasis, what we call psoriatic arthritis. We have what we call lupus arthritis. So there are so many other causes, but unapata nao hizo zingine kuna ugonjwa ingine iko ndani ndio inasababisha now ina damage the joints. So what happens in all these other types of arthritis? The outcome is usually one, the end game. Destruction of that arrangement I've just explained. Yeah. That smoothness of that bone, that fluid, all those things now, that arrangement is distorted. So all these major things that we have talked about, they can now cause the damage into that joint. Now, we can now talk about arthritis. Now, I'll say the two common types of arthritis is osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. So what happens now in osteoarthritis? Now, in what we call osteoarthritis, it's now tear and wear.
Tear and wear.
Yes. Okay. Hiyo ulisikia hata ukiwa pale shule ukiwa tear and wear. What is this tear and wear? Of course, when you're using something, kuna ile inaenda ikiisha. Yeah? Haiwezi kuwa ulianza kutumia baiskeli na venye ulikuwa unaitumia miaka 5 ndivyo iko bado. Lazima upate kamguu kaliisha, uka replace, ka brake kaliisha, uka replace. The same thing happens now to our bodies.
With time. Okay. You
find that now kuna wear and tear. Now these joint spaces, this smooth surface on the joints, they start wearing out. So that smoothness ilikuwa kwa ile joint ukiwa mdogo inaanza kwenda ikiisha. Ikienda kuisha, now that cartilage that covers that the joints inaweza kulika iishe. So ikikulika iishe now, the soft part imeisha. So what happens? It is now the rough part and the hard part, they come into contact.
Okay.
Now, that is how now the tear and wear comes about. Okay. Ilikuwa sawa, lakini because of 1 or 2, 3 things, it wears out. And that's why now we talk about now the risk factors into what might predispose you to, ama kitu ambayo inaweza kukufanya kuwe na uwezekano mkubwa ku develop arthritis, is anything that is going to increase the tear and wear. Now, when it comes to the other type of the more fairly common arthritis, which is called rheumatoid arthritis, we call it it's an immunological condition. Okay. Mwili yako kawaida huwa it fights anything that looks like it's not good. That's called immunity. So it responds. But in some conditions, in situation like this of rheumatoid arthritis, there are some immune responses that are formed. They attack those tissues on the joints, thinking that they are foreign. So they destroy them.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's why I've told you it's an immunological condition. So your your immunity, it's one that is going to fight, and it's like fight within you. You are fighting yourself. So the body is fighting itself. And it's very hard now to explain why, but it's only that if it detects your body generally, if it detects anything else abnormal, it fights it.
Yeah, true.
So if that arrangement is changes or distorted, and then it realizes now his joints, it starts fighting them. So what happens if it fights them? It destroys them.
Yes.
So now the destruction comes in. Now that's what's called rheumatoid arthritis. It's an immune thing. Now what happens? The overall outcome of these things, and where the immunological response destroying the capsule. The capsule now is what this covering that covers now this joint. You have a knee joint here, or you have a elbow joint here, then there's a covering that covers it. Now the immunological response usually tends to target the covering. The tend where usually tends to affect the cartilage that lines the joint, right?
The soft part.
The soft part of the bone that usually enables the movement within the joints. So now what happens? All these things, the general outcome or the final outcome is destruction of this joint arrangement, either the surface or the supporting structures. And now what happens? Now, I told you most people would have arthritis because of the pain. So when this destruction happens, one of the key presentation, or one of the things that a patient will present with is pain of the joints. They will come and tell you, hey, miguu yangu siku hizi inauma sana.
Now it's at the joints.
It's at the joints. The pain will be at the joints. It won't be at the muscles. It will not be in between the bone. It will be at the joints. Yes. And most commonly, you find that arthritis will affect the weight-bearing joints most of the time.
Which are they?
The weight-bearing joints in the body, majorly are usually the knees, the ankle joints, the hip joints, and the bones of the lower back. That is why we've come around this area, those two shoes, they will always tell you, hey, me niko na mahidi manauma sana.
That is true.
That is exactly what they will tell you.
Yes.
They will come and tell you,
and they will point up at chini.
Even if they cannot tell you, they cannot speak Kiswahili. They will definitely tell you, hey, matoto yangu mahidi
manauma.
That is now the lower back.
Yes.
Almost every other person will come with that complaint because it's a weight bearing. When you stand up or you're walking, you're putting a lot of, now you can imagine now this entire body is resting on the lower back. It's resting on the hip joint. It's resting on the knees, and now the ankles. So most of the patients will present with pains on those joints. So when they present with that, now you think arthritis is a possibility. Now we're now considering the other factors, right? Now, so that is one thing that we present with pain. Number two, swelling, kufura. Ungeweza kuja kwambia, hii mguu yangu naona hapa kwa magoti imefura. Unaona? That is number two thing. Number three thing is what we call joint stiffness. Stiffness meaning that unajaribu kunyorosha hiyo magoti, unasikia haifiki mwisho.
Unika inakwama. Kaka.
Yes.
You know, before it reaches where it
Yes, that is joint stiffness. Number four thing that they will present with, or just kusubra con arthritis ni what we call reduced range of movement. Like for example, hii mkono yangu nafaa kukunja mpaka mwisho.
Yes.
But now with arthritis unakunja inafika hapo imekwama.
Inakata iwezi
enda. That is now reduced range of movement. Yeah. So those are some of the things people or the patients will present with. Then you start thinking about there is a possibility that there is arthritis. Now that's the symptoms. That's what our patients will present with, either ikuwe ni osteoarthritis, ikuwe ni rheumatoid arthritis. Though now there are some differentiation you usually look at, then you're likely to say this is more likely to be this type of arthritis other than this. So each one of them has its way of presentation, but generally all the types of arthritis will present with those symptoms. But now there are some symptoms we'll look at and then say, this one is likely to be rheumatoid, this one is likely to be osteoarthritis. For example, if it's osteoarthritis, you're likely to have maybe 1 or 2 joints having the pain. If it's rheumatoid arthritis, then you have multiple joints. Yeah, joints. Yeah, and now this one tend to involve in the small joints. And for example, like the advanced rheumatoid arthritis, there are those features we look at even in the on the hands. Yeah, if it's something like gout arthritis, there is what we usually ask the patients: where is this pain? Where does it start? Most of them will tell you the big toe. Usually pain is usually much on the big toe with gout arthritis. Then now we have now so many other questions now to try now which one is which. Because this one, elimination method. Now you're able now to tell it is this type of arthritis, it's not this type of arthritis.
Awesome. Wow. Where this is getting interesting now, because I've heard so many people say that there was an issue that I got to hear about salt. You know, is salt, can it be, because you said that the two main maybe causes, it's tear and wear, and maybe the immune fighting, you know, the joints are fighting. Is it the capsules of the joints? And so is there any other outside, could we have an outside cause for it?
As I said, remember I said there are so many types of arthritis, and each one of them will have other underlying, you might be having another underlying issues. And now the other thing that will come in when we discuss about arthritis is what wasn't the situation. No. There are some lifestyle issues that can either worsen or improve the arthritis, which is already
also it's already there. The only lifestyle issues, maybe like the food we take, is going to worsen. So there's
either worsen or relieve it.
Okay. So there's not like this food, if you eat this food, is going to cause this, if you do this, it's going to cause this.
Not really. No specific food you will say that will cause. It's only that to predispose you to like for example gout arthritis. Gout arthritis is usually associated with you taking a lot of it's a predisposing factor, a lot of roast meat. Yeah, that's why when you come with a gout arthritis, we'll discourage you from nyama choma. No. So that's why I'm telling you, there is already a problem. Because, for example, what happens with gout arthritis is what we call accumulations of uric acid crystals within the joints. You see, now you can imagine you're putting crystals in a smooth surface, which was supposed to be smooth. So you put crystals there. What will happen? It's a guara, exactly. So those are some of the things. That's why I told you it depends which arthritis are we talking about. But generally, and the most common I told you is now the osteo, the tear and the wear, and now the rheumatoid, which is an immune response. Now, maybe the question that now we're supposed to be answering in this case is what are the risk factors?
That I would love we talk about when we take a break.
Exactly.
And also before we go, the age mesema between from what age actually could someone be said kutoka hii age mtu ajichunge sana na kuna vile arthritis zinaweza kukushema polepole.
Now that one lands in the risk factor, because that is one of the risk factors.
Oh, but that's one of the Bas, we take a break, but remember this is Nuru ya Asubuhi and we are here with the Dr. Musyoka. We are tackling the issue of arthritis that is facing so many people in every home. Utasikia kuna case tu moja ama mbili, you know, that people, oh auntie yangu, oh mama yangu, nani, show. You know, arthritis ndio here. And so be free to connect with us, ask any question you have on the number that is on your screen. And also you can go to all our social media platforms, that is Facebook and also on YouTube. You can leave your comment there. When you leave it, we'll be seeing it, we'll be reading it, and the daktari will be here to also answer. Usikae tu hapo peke yako. Maybe you have such a person at home na unashangaa tutamsaidia vipi. We are here to help you with that. So we take a break, but we'll be back with so much more. Stay tuned.